Hello everyone, I'm Yam Tamil Chilvan, Assistant Professor of English, Government College of Engineering, Dharmapuri. Today we are going to learn Communicative English, HS8151. In this, the Unit 3. From Unit 3, we are going to learn direct and indirect questions. Now let's get into the topic, the objectives. So by the end of this lecture, you should be able to know the difference between direct and indirect questions. Use direct and indirect questions in everyday conversation, right? So what's the primary difference between direct and indirect questions, or that is the primary objective, and how to use these direct and indirect questions in everyday conversations, right? Now let us see direct questions. So direct questions are normal questions that we can ask friends, family members, and people who we know well. So these are all mostly in informal situations. These are mostly used in informal situations. You see, formal situations and informal situations. So everyday life you'll be using these questions. Take for example, some examples I've given here. Where is the bank? Who's your brother? So these are all very common questions that could be used in normal questions and normal situations or informal situations. These we can ask to any persons in your family or friends or any people that you meet in your everyday life. So these questions, direct questions used in informal situations. Now indirect questions. So indirect questions are a little more formal and polite. We use them when talking to a person we don't know very well or in professional situations, and their form is a little different. So it is very clear that indirect questions are used in formal situations and it is more polite. All right. So the formal situations, so whenever we meet some higher officers and people who are senior to our age and in very formal situations and we don't know those persons, such and such places will be using the indirect question. Some examples given here are: could you tell me where the bank is? Do you know where the library is? So these questions we cannot we may not use these questions among our friends, but these questions can be used with some strangers, those people we don't know. So this is the primary difference, direct and indirect questions. Direct questions are used in informal situations. Indirect questions are used in formal and in a polite situation, right? Now let us see phrases used for direct questions. So we may use some phrases that could be helpful for using indirect questions. Some phrases are given here. You see, could you tell me? Do you know? I was wondering. Do you have any idea? I would like to know. Would it be possible? Is there any chance? So these are some phrases that could be used in while forming indirect questions, right? So now more examples we can find in this page, right? Direct questions and indirect questions, right? Direct questions. And where is the railway station? So this is the direct question, and indirect question is, could you tell me where the railway station is? Next, what did she want? Do you know what she wanted? Are you married? I wonder if you are married. When will the train reach Egmore? Do you have any idea when the train will reach Egmore? Does he know driving? I would like to know if he knows driving. So it's here we can find the primary difference about using these phrases. So what are the phrases that we learned here? We use those phrases in the indirect questions. Could you tell me? Here you see, could you tell me? Do you know? And do you know, like that. So these phrases could be used for indirect questions. So there are a lot of phrases, not only these things. These are all only a few examples, and you may learn a lot more if you go and search for, right? These are all only typical examples, so simple and useful for you. So shall I meet you tomorrow? Would it be possible to meet you tomorrow? So these are all more polite and could be used with persons of senior grade, right? And here we come to the final part of this lecture. You see the exercise, why did she cry? Can you tell me? So please go through these exercises. Some phrases or sentences are given here. Go through these things entirely and try to answer these questions, right? I hope you have all learnt the primary difference between direct and indirect questions, and I hope you will use these direct and indirect questions in your everyday conversations, right? Thank you.